Good evening, everyone. And real quick today, I want to talk about, I want to break something down. And just to be real, it's part of what has to do with what we're going through the COVID-19 situation. I'm not necessarily a big political person, even though sometimes it may seem like it just because I may post certain things about what's going on in the world. But like religion, I don't care about religion. And while I'm thinking about that, let me go ahead and say this because I've heard some people tell me before something about Christian. The word Christian is a belief, and I don't 100% agree with that because Christian is. I'm not going to even say it's a title. It's like, well, it's in other words, it's not a title like Methodist, Kojic, Baptist, Catholic, all the rest of these different religions. Christian is what you are, or um, let me say it different. Let me sum it up. For example, like in the Bible, you have the book of First and Second Corinthians, because that's what the people were called, Corinthians, because they were from Corinth. Galatia, Galatia people were called Galatians. Ephesus people were called Ephesians. Um, Rome people from Rome were called Romans. I can keep going. My point is that people who follow Jesus, who is the Christ, like that situation in the Bible where Peter was asked, "Who do you say I am?" And he said, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." Well, that's what I'm looking at now. The key word is the Christ. With that being said, in order to spell Christian, you have to include the first six letters, or all the letters of Christ. Christ. So if you're a Christian, you're not necessarily just a believer in Christ, but you're a follower, meaning you represent him. You don't represent any other type of fake idol God or the devil who is against God in the first place. You represent Jesus Christ, the gospel, the good news about Jesus Christ. So what I'm saying is, I've heard some people tell me that Christian is a religion, and that you should just tell people you're a believer. Okay, but my thing is, when people ask you or hear that, they're gonna be like, okay, such and such. Like in this case, okay, Cameron, so what is your belief? Or what/who do you believe in? And I'm gonna be like, okay, well, I'm a Christian, or I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in the good news, the gospel, that he was born, that he died on Calvary, that he was buried, that he rose again, and claimed the victory with all power in his hands. So what I'm saying is that some belief, anything you believe in or have faith in, has to have some type of backup plan or explanation behind it. In this case, like I said, when it's all said and done, in other words, Christians, maybe not all of them, but the true Christian is represented or does things according to Jesus the Christ, the Son of the living God. It's not like I'm a Christian and let's say I believe in this religion over that religion. Because at the end of the day, that's what's messed up about church. It's so many different religions that certain things a lot of churches may believe in, like most of the Bible, just about all of it. Methodist believes in just about the same thing that, let's say, Baptists and other religions believe in. I know one thing because I was raised with my mother and grandma in Chicago, and they went to Methodist. The one thing I disagree with or don't believe in that they do is they baptize. The way they do it is the sprinkling of water. Jesus didn't get baptized that way. He didn't tell the disciples to baptize people that way. John the Baptist, who baptized Jesus, they simply grab you by the forehead with a towel and they submerge you onto water, which, to simplify, to sum it up, that's basically getting rid of the old you and transforming you into the new born again creature you claim you are, and who God wants you to be, in order to change your life around for the good. Because that's what Jesus told Nicodemus, John 3:3. He said, in order to see, I'm paraphrasing, in order to see the kingdom of heaven, you must be born again. Because that's what Nicodemus started off asking Jesus. He said, what must I do? He said, you must be born again. And when it's all said and done, that's another thing that's messed up about church, because a lot of church folks, you can fool man, you can fool your pastor, people at your church, but you can't fool God, because he's like a camera. He's everywhere. He's everywhere. Like everywhere you look, everywhere you, even whether you can see it or not, God is there. Meaning that you can't fool or trick God. I don't know why some people try to play God for a fool. You might as well say, God, I'm a smoke and I'm going to keep doing what I want to do. I'm going to drink and I'm going to keep doing this, and I'm just going to have to face you coming back and judging me, unless you want to sit there and change around and say, look, Lord, I've confessed my sin. Please, God, work on me and use me for the good that you want me to be, and create me a clean heart, renew the right spirit in me, like David said. But it's all up to you. But what I'm saying is, you got some people who try to be sneaky. You cannot sneak and play God for a fool. You cannot do something and God doesn't already know about it. God already knew you was going to do it before you did it. Like, for example, tomorrow's Saturday. Some places in the world, it may be already Saturday or 2 days ahead. Some places it's behind, depending on the time. But what I'm saying is that God knows everything, what's going to happen before it already comes to play, before that day or time comes. So what I'm trying to say is, once again, that now Christianity, that's a religion. Actually, it just popped in my head. Thank you, Spirit. The fact is, I'm not talking about Christianity, though. I'm talking about the word Christian, what a person is or who they are, a Christian, a true born-again Christian believer in Christ. So nothing's wrong with being a Christian, because some people may disagree that the word Christian and the word believer are two different things. But if you break down the true definition, a Christian, once again, is someone who believes in Jesus Christ. So that's all I really need to say about that. Secondly, I'm going to read here from Matthew chapter 23, and I'm going to start at verse 25, well, actually 23, and I'm going to read through 28. It says, "Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you pay tithes of mint and anise and cumin, and have neglected the weightier matters of the law, justice and mercy and faith. These you ought to have done without leaving the others undone. Blind guides who strain out a gat and swallow a camel. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you cleanse the outside of the cup and dish, but inside they are full of extortion and self-indulgence. Blind Pharisee, first cleanse the inside of the cup and dish, that the outside of them may be clean also. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you are like whitewashed tombs, which indeed appear beautiful outwardly, but inside are full of dead men's bones and all uncleanliness." Verse 28 says, "Even so you also outwardly appear righteous to men, but inside you are full of hypocrisy and lawlessness." I've read to you Matthew 23 verses 23 through 28. Really, let me sum that up and I'm done. It's just funny what the world does. I'm not pointing a finger at nobody. I'm not judging nobody. I'm just giving my personal opinion based on all the hell and hot water that's going on in the world. I'm not just talking about the United States. I'm talking about the whole economy, all 7 continents, Europe, Africa, Antarctica, Asia, all the rest of these places. All I'm saying is that it's too much going on. And when you face certain people in life or a situation that deal with confusion, then it's going to be a lot of nonsense, a lot of hell and stuff going on, a lot of back and forth nonsense, arguing and feud and stuff. It's going to be a messed up situation, a fishy, ugly situation is all I'm saying. So like in this case, let me say this. This is my opinion. I understand and respect the law about people having to wear masks. I don't have a problem with that. Now, as far as people's opinions, because like I said before, God himself is a free will God, and the law is certain laws according to the amendments that talk about freedom of speech and things like that. But of course, it's kind of different when it comes to the law. Whatever the law says you must or have to do. Like, for example, and this is no ifs, ands, or buts about it, but if they made a law right now that you couldn't walk out your house with, or you couldn't, let's say, go anywhere anymore, or for the time being, let's say until this COVID thing is over with flip-flops on, everybody in the world, no matter whether you liked it or not, wouldn't be able to leave the house without flip-flops. That's only if the law was officially permanent, meaning they confirmed it's the law now. So that's a situation with the mask where you can't go into a lot of places, bowling alleys, grocery stores, wherever, without a mask on. I understand and respect that. What I'm saying, as far as other people, is that other people, I can understand where they look at it a different way, because some people just are like, nah, I'm not wearing a mask because it's hard to breathe. Other people may be like, nah, I'm not wearing a mask just because I don't want to. And nothing's wrong with that, because once again, everybody has free will. But according to the law, that's kind of like saying, hey, you have no choice but to do it, because, well, as far as going into certain places and doing certain things, you have no choice, because if you want this McDonald's food and you come inside, you have to wear the mask. That's their policy or rule. If not, you can leave. But a lot of other places now, since it's become law official in the world, you must / have to do it. So once again, it may be one of them situations like, okay, whatever it is, I'm just going to do it. But right when I get out the door, I'm taking this thing off and throwing it in the garbage. So I'm just taking it off again. But what I'm saying is that that's the thing about the world. And my main point now is this, that there's always going to be different situations. Some people are going to be on the left side. Some people are going to be on the right side. Some people are going to be, let's say, against Trump. Some people are going to be for Trump. It's always two sides to a situation. It's just about how to break it down. Then when you end up looking at the end of the situation, which side does it go on? Is this person, based on what they say and their views and opinions, are they on the left side or the right side? Are they on the bad side or the good side? There's no way. People always try to mix or confuse things up. And that's the thing about politics and the media. That's their job. They get paid to say certain things and do certain things. And that's what's wrong with the media and politics. It's about money. And I'm going to make another video here, by the way, in a few more days about that. 1 Timothy 6:10, for the love of money is root of all evil. But as for now, what I'm saying is, like, I shared something on Facebook now about 40 minutes ago or so about Dr. Fauci, the same person, a man that was telling people, and the doctor representing the president or whatever type of position he has, telling people, of course, to do his thing and do their job. I'm going to say do their job and do their thing by keeping their mask on, proceeding safe guidelines. I understand and respect that. And I do understand, based on a post that I put on Facebook, why he actually didn't have his mask on, and he was sitting next to a man and woman who obviously I'm pretty sure he knew. But what I'm saying is, it's impossible, and I repeat, impossible to keep 6 feet away from everybody. You want to know why? Clear. I can give you different examples. For example, if you're at work, you have to get close to the person you're about to give the food to. Let's say you're working the drive-through, the window. You're giving people either their money back and accepting a card or cash to pay for their food, or you're giving them their food once they pull up to the second window. My thing is, you have to touch the food that you're about to give them. Then you have to give the food that you touch to them, which they're about to take from you. Then same thing with the money. Then besides that, it's the fact that, let's say, like the Dr. Fauci situation, however you say his name, like, I'm not 100% mad that he was next to whoever those people or the man and woman at the Washington Nationals or whatever game. It's the fact though, I'm kind of shocked and surprised that the baseball stadium people, why didn't they, let's say, space people out? Why didn't they do like they do at bowling lanes? Lane 1 is open. You skip lane 2, lane 3 is open. In other words, all the odd number lanes are open, but the even number lanes are closed. That's what had me thinking like, wow, the same person who is talking about how serious this is about the COVID-19 is not actually, his actions are not matching up with what he's saying, his words, because if they were, you wouldn't have saw a picture with him sitting right next to people. You would have saw more like he's right here, skip a seat, then there's the next person, and so on. But you see those people right there next to each other, elbow to elbow and stuff like that, as if it's not serious. Like I said, my only thing about that is I kind of feel like even at a restaurant, people, I'm not saying this in a bad way, but I'm saying if they want to keep the 6 feet apart distance, that includes if you come with somebody who you stay with, your girlfriend, your fiance, your husband, your cousin, your wife, whoever. I still feel like to keep all rules in place, if they're making a big deal out of you must keep 6 feet apart. Like, let's say, for example, I go inside a gas station. We have to keep our feet on the markers on the ground 6 feet apart, or a grocery store. That means that even if my wife is behind me, or fiance, or girlfriend, or whoever, or not even that, but let's say my cousin, friend, whoever, if I'm related to the person and the people saw us coming together, they don't care. They're like, hey, y'all need to stay 6 feet apart. That's what I'm saying, or you would think is the case around the whole world, including restaurants. But that would be messed up. A lot of people would say, like, wow, we came here together, but it doesn't seem like it because you're 6 feet over there and I'm 6 feet right here. You would think that's the way things would go, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people in the world, like husbands and wives and people engaged and things like that, would not like that because they're like, hey, I want to sit next to my husband. I want to sit next to my wife. So what kind of mess is this that we have to sit there and even be 6 feet apart as far as here at a restaurant or a baseball game or basketball at the bowling alley or something like that, knowing we're related, we came together and we're in a relationship, we're married, or blah, blah, blah. So once again, I'm not mad about the Dr. Fauci or other situations in life where people who know each other are sitting next to each other, but it's impossible to keep the 6 feet rule in place all the time, because when you go to a gas station, inside, hey, I want 10 on pump 2. Guess what? You have to give the person the money. Then if you want something, you got to go in there and put your hands on it. The same thing you touch, you have to, not every place, because some places know how much their product is worth, and all they have to do is type in numbers, how much it's worth, and you see how much it is. Then you sit there and swipe your card and put in your pen, and everything's done. You leave out. But some places, they have to touch your same item and scan it in order for it to go through. So I'm saying that's germs passing right there. So it's impossible to 100% keep this 6 feet apart thing going. And the only reason I brought this up is because it doesn't make any sense for people to be like, okay, we're able to keep it this way. You might as well keep it real and say, hey, world, try your best at all times to try to keep 6 feet apart, even though it's impossible for some situations for anybody to keep 6 feet apart, which includes through a drive-through, giving people money, or in a gas station, grocery store, wherever. You have to give the money to the people who have to take it from you and take it and put the money in the cash drawer and give you the change you are expected to get back to you. So the world is confusing. The world is like, it's ridiculous, and it's the opposite when it comes to God, because God is not the author of confusion. I'm just saying that because we live in a crazy world full of sin, and that's the key word, S-I-N, sin. That's the reason why the world is the way it is now. And God is still putting up with us and allowing us to all this foolishness and stuff to go on until the right time comes to send his son Jesus back. But what I'm saying is God himself, everything he did in Genesis chapter 1 was decent and in order, and it was good. It was no mistake. It was nothing wrong about what God did. All I'm saying is that when man comes in the picture, we mess stuff up. We do what we want to do. We say what we mean, or we don't always say what we mean. We claim we say what we mean, but a lot of times we don't mean what we say because our actions don't match up with our words. So really, that's all I'm trying to say here, that it's impossible to keep 6 feet apart at all times, especially if you have to give something to somebody and exchange it out in order for you to get something back, which has to do with money. In order for you to get change for a 20, like if something costs $10 including tax at McDonald's or somewhere, you give them a $20 bill. You're not going to just give it to them and they keep it. They have to give your $10 change back. So my point is, it's impossible at all times to keep 6 feet apart. So the world is just confusing. And that's what happens when it comes to sin and disobeying God. Confusion is going to happen. The world is going to continue to do stuff that puts people down. And that's another thing. Like, it's sad, but when it comes to money getting in the way of people, a lot of rich folks, not all rich folks, but a lot of times, people who are full of pride and money, when that gets in the way, a lot of this is going to happen. That's why the world is crazy now. People are wondering when are things going to get back to normal. Some people enjoy the filing for employment, the unemployment check, making, let's say, $3,600 a month, $900 a week, and stuff like this. And the world is ridiculous. It's out of hand, but we ain't seen nothing yet. Matthew 24 breaks down everything that Jesus talked about and said that's going to happen before he comes back to save the world. So I've talked here for 22 minutes. I'm basically done. I just wanted to get that off my chest. So may God bless each and every one of you. Stay safe out there. I hope and pray that the world gets better as soon as possible. I'm just hoping and praying for the best. It is what it is. May God bless you and your family. God bless you. You have a blessed weekend.